My name is Kara Kordudu. This is our special weekly bulletin. These are our top stories for this week. UK children exposed to violent content online see it as inevitable, report finds. Ukraine hits Russian city and oil refinery on day 2 of presidential vote. Germany calls for large-scale aid access to Gaza as Scholz heads to Israel. Second aid shipment for Gaza ready to sail from Cyprus, says its president. Shanghai wins 6 straight, Guangzhou overcomes Yingjiang in CBA. And now stories. UK children exposed to violent content online see it as inevitable, report finds children in Britain stumble on violent content online, including material prompting self-harm while still at primary school, and say it is an inevitable part of using the internet, according to research published on Friday. The report underlines the challenge facing world governments and tech groups, such as Meta, which owns Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp, Google's YouTube, Snap Inc. Snapchat and ByteDance's TikTok, to enact safeguarding measures, especially for minors. Britain passed legislation last October that set tougher rules for social media platforms, including a mandate for them to prevent children from accessing harmful and age-inappropriate content by enforcing age limits and age-checking measures. The law gave Ofcom the power to fine tech companies if they fail to comply with the new requirements. But the penalties have not yet come into force, as the regulator must produce codes of practice to implement the measure. Messaging platforms led by WhatsApp have opposed the provision in the law they say could force them to break end-to-end encryption. All of the 247 children aged between 8 to 17 interviewed for the report, commissioned by Ofcom and carried out between May and November, came across violent content online, mostly via social media, video sharing and messaging sites and apps, Ofcom said. In a statement, Ofcom said the report by research agency Family, Kids and Youth found that violent gaming content, verbal discrimination and footage of street fights were commonly encountered by the children. Many children said they felt they had no control over the content suggested to them and reported only a limited understanding of recommender systems, which use data to predict someone's preferred content. The children referred to these systems as the algorithm, the report said. Today's research sends a powerful message to tech firms that now is the time to act, so they're ready to meet their child protection duties under new online safety laws, Jill Whitehead, Ofcom's Online Safety Group Director, said. Ukraine hits Russian city and oil refinery on day 2 of presidential vote. A Ukrainian missile attack killed 2 people in western Russia, and a separate drone strike set an oil refinery ablaze on Saturday, the second day of an election that President Vladimir Putin has accused Kiev of trying to disrupt. The Ukraine war has cast a shadow over voting in the 3-day presidential election, which is all but certain to hand Putin 6 more years in the Kremlin, but has been marked by scattered acts of protest. The head of the Electoral Commission, Ella Pamfilova, said there had so far been 20 incidents of people trying to destroy voting sheets by pouring various liquids into ballot boxes, as well as 8 cases of attempted arson and a smoke bomb. In the Belgorod region, where cross-border attacks from Ukraine have become part of daily life, the governor reported the deaths of a man and a woman. Video obtained by Reuters showed fires ablaze and air raid sirens sounding on the empty streets of Belgorod city. Dmitry Azarov, governor of the Samara region, 850 kilometers, 530 miles southeast of Moscow, said the Syzran refinery was on fire, but an attack on a second refinery had been thwarted. The fire was brought under control hours later, officials said, but the incidents highlighted Ukraine's ability to strike hundreds of miles inside Russian territory to target its energy industry. 2 other big refineries were set on fire earlier this week by drone strikes that shut down half or more of their output. Russia's defense ministry said it had repelled attempts by Ukrainian forces to cross the border into Belgorod region. Governor Gladkov said that given the current situation, schools in much of the region would close on Monday and Tuesday, and that shopping centres in Belgorod city would be shut on Sunday and Monday. Russia mounted its deadliest attack in weeks on Friday, when its missiles hit a residential area in Ukraine's Black Sea port city of Odessa, killing at least 20 people and wounding more than 70. Germany calls for large-scale aid access to Gaza as Scholz heads to Israel. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz urged Israel on Saturday to allow humanitarian aid access to Gaza on a larger scale ahead of a 2-day trip to the Middle East. Scholz will travel to the Jordanian Red Sea port of Aqaba on Saturday to meet on Sunday with Jordan's King Abdullah before flying on to Israel to meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It is necessary for aid to reach Gaza on a larger scale now. That will be a topic that I also have to talk about, Scholz told journalists ahead of his trip. He also voiced concern about Israel's planned offensive in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, where more than half the Palestinians' enclave's population of 2.3 million have taken shelter. There is a danger that a comprehensive offensive in Rafah will result in many terrible civilian casualties, which must be strictly prohibited, he added. Germany's Air Force said it dropped pallets with 4 tons of relief goods by air into the enclave on Saturday. Every package counts, but airdrops are just a drop in the ocean, the Foreign Ministry said on the social media platform X. Israel's air and ground campaign in Gaza, triggered by Hamas' attack on October 7th, has displaced most of the population and left people in dire need of food and other essentials. Second aid shipment for Gaza, ready to sail from Cyprus, says its president. A second cargo of food aid was ready to depart by sea from Cyprus to Gaza on Saturday, the island's president said, after a first aid shipment landed in the besieged Palestinian enclave overnight. Almost 200 tons of food arrived in the enclave late on Friday, the first shipment in a new aid route to the Gaza Strip, devastated by 5 months of war. The first ship has started its return to Cyprus, and we are ready to dispatch the second ship, Cypriot President Nikos Christodoulis told journalists. The second ship, with 240 tons of aid, was moored at Larnaca port awaiting a signal to sail. US-based charity World Central Kitchen, WCK, which arranged the mission with the UAE and Spanish charity Open Arms with support from the Cypriot government, said the new shipment included pallets of canned goods and bulk products. WCK said the second boat also had tall forklifts and a crane to assist with future maritime deliveries to Gaza. A cruise ship would accompany the cargo boat with 8 workers to operate the machinery and offload the aid, it said. In the first mission, the charity offloaded aid onto a makeshift jetty WCK built from the rubble of destroyed buildings. Hopefully, this corridor we open today will be a pathway alongside the terrestrial ones to alleviate hunger, relieve suffering, and restore humanity to the civilian population, Open Arms, which provided the ship, said on Friday on X. The main UN agency operating in Gaza said on Saturday that 1 in 3 children under age 2 in northern Gaza is now acutely malnourished and famine is looming. Israel's air and ground campaign in Gaza, triggered by Hamas' attack on October 7th, has displaced most of the enclave's 2.3 million population and left people in dire need of food and other essentials. Shanghai Sharks wins 6 straight. Guangzhou overcomes Xinjiang in CBA. The Shanghai Sharks beat the Qingdao Eagles for the first time this season, 106-94, to extend their winning streak to 6 games, while the Guangzhou Lung Lions overcame the Xinjiang Flying Tigers 108-96 in the Chinese Basketball Association CBA League on Saturday. Sitting 6th and 7th in the table, Qingdao and Shanghai were aware of the importance of their head-to-head encounter as they both seek a playoff berth. Miles Powell was a lethal weapon, but his game-high 39 points were not enough to earn Qingdao a win, with Wang Zilin and Eric Bledsoe continuing their offensive output in the last minutes. Shanghai grabbed 32 offensive rebounds and 5 players scored in double digits, led by Dwayne Bacon's 22. We had lost to Qingdao twice this season. Our players showed strength in execution and increased the game pace today, said Shanghai coach Liu Peng. Barry Brown made 13 of 24 shots for 29 points, and his performance in the fourth quarter helped Guangzhou secure the win. Chen Ying-chun contributed 21 points and 5 assists, while Zhu Mingzhen got 20 points. Every game matters if we want to qualify for the playoffs, Guangzhou coach Guo Xingjiang remarked. For Xinjiang, Abdul Salam, Abdul Rexit and Lindell Wigginton scored 21 points apiece. In other games, the Shaanxi Lungs smashed the Nanjing Monkey Kings 135-107, and the Zhejiang Golden Bulls beat the Jilin Northeast Tigers 103-93. And that's all the news roundup for me. Thank you and goodbye.